Hello everyone, this is Rajiv Kohli and welcome back to our channel The Teacher, and today we will start with PowerPoint 2016. And when you open the PowerPoint 2016 for the first time, you see this screen which has been divided into two sections. One is recent file list on the left side, and here you have a list of ready-made templates on the right side. Moreover, you have categories on the top of the list where you can find more templates according to the category, like business templates, education, industry. When you choose any of these categories, Microsoft PowerPoint will display you a list of ready-made templates from the internet. It will download whichever template you will select. It will download it from the Microsoft server. So usually I work with blank presentation, so we will go with the blank presentation. But before that, let me tell you something about the recent file list. As you can see here that PowerPoint is showing a lot of files here. These are those files which I have recently opened from different locations. So what is the benefit of recent file list? It saves your time. For instance, yesterday I opened soft light effect presentation from this location. So instead of moving to this location again, like going to my computer, then opening E drive, then the teacher, Microsoft PowerPoint videos, then searching for that particular folder, soft light flash behind text effect, and then opening that presentation from this location, instead of doing that, I can simply open this file by clicking on the link given in the recent file list, so which actually saves your time. If we move there again, let me close it first and we open PowerPoint again. So this way you can open the most recent file that you were working with right from here. Moreover, let's say you are working on this presentation from past many days and you want this link to be right here always, to be there always, because this list is going to change. As you will open more files, this list will change automatically. You will always see the most recent open file list here. So it could be possible that you might not see the presentation that you are looking for. So what you can do here is you can pin an item in the list. That way it will separate the pinned item list from the recent file list. For example, I just pinned soft light effect presentation and I want this 3 giraffe presentation to be pinned as well, and this countdown. So as you can see that PowerPoint has separated the list of pinned item from the recent file list. And if you have another presentation which is not here in the list, then you can click on the open other presentation link and you can browse for the particular presentation that you are looking for. I usually work with blank presentation. I will tell you about these templates later on, so we will go with the blank presentation. Now let me tell you something about the user interface of the PowerPoint. On the top, that orange bar that you are seeing here is called title bar. It has the application name and a temporary name given by the application to your file, which is presentation 1 for PowerPoint. And if you are working with Microsoft Word, then you can see the same here, application name and a temporary file name given by Microsoft Word. It usually happens with almost all the applications. each application try to give a temporary name to the new file. So if you go to the file menu and then click save and then click browse for the location, then you will see the same name here. Okay, now on the title bar you have two more things. One is the quick access toolbar, which you can customize to add or remove buttons from the quick access toolbar, but we will talk about this later on. And on the right side you have four buttons. One to close PowerPoint, second one is to restore down or restore up, or you can call it maximize and minimize. If you want PowerPoint window to be minimized without closing it, then you can use the minimize button. And then you have ribbon display option button, which has three further options: auto hide ribbon, show tabs and commands. So what is office ribbon? The area that you are seeing here is called office ribbon. Here you have the file menu at the first place, and then you have different tabs: home, insert, design, transition, animation, slideshow, review and view. These are called tabs, and each tab has its own commands. Like home tab has these commands and insert tab has these commands. And in PowerPoint course I am going to tell you about all these commands. So in the office ribbon display option you have three choices: auto hide ribbon, show tabs and commands. Let me tell you about each of them one by one. First of all, we will choose auto hide ribbon. As you can see that now you are no longer able to see the ribbon on top of the screen. If you move your mouse to the top and click once, then it will appear again. So why would you will do this? If you are working with some few objects and want more area on the screen, then for the time you can hide the ribbon to get more space on the screen. But that way you always have to click on the top to bring the office ribbon. That could be a little annoying if you are continuously using commands after a time. So you can also go with show tabs. That way it will not show you the commands underneath the tabs, but will start showing you the tabs on the top of the screen. Let's say I am typing a text and I want to bold it, then I have to select it and go to the home tab and then click on the bold command, and when I will click back in the slide, then the command window will hide automatically. So it is up to you that you want to hide the entire ribbon or you want to show tabs but want to hide commands. And third one is show tabs and commands, which is selected by default in all Microsoft applications. This is the default option, show tabs and commands, and choosing this option will always show you the commands and tabs at the same time on the top of the screen. Doesn't matter if you click inside the slides or you go anywhere else, the tabs and commands will always remain there. Let me close it and reopen it again. Let's start with black presentation again. As I was telling you about office ribbon, if you look carefully, then all these commands also apply to the other application of Microsoft Office. Like in Microsoft Word, you can use the same options as in PowerPoint for office ribbon, and same with the Excel. Now let's talk about one more thing. Let's go to the file menu and then click the save option. As I am saving the file, you can see that it always come up with the recent file list, and if I want to save that presentation, then I have to choose another option. Like if I want to save that presentation to the OneDrive, then I can click here and type the name of the file, or if I want to save this file on my PC, then I can click on this PC and enter the name here, which will by default save the file to the documents folder. Or I can add more places if I want, or can browse another locations as required. But I always have to do this, clicking on the file menu, then clicking on the save, then browsing for the location. What I want here is, I want PowerPoint to always show the computer location by default instead of showing recent, OneDrive and add a place. For this, you can change a few options of PowerPoint, and to do this, go to the file menu, click the options, click the save tab, and here you have these options. Don't show the backstage when opening or saving files, show additional places for saving even if sign-in may be required, and save to computer by default. So let's start with save to computer by default option. Make a check mark on it and press the OK button. Now if I go to the file menu and click save, you can see that by default this PC is selected instead of recent. Now I can type the name here and can click the save button. That way it will save a little bit of my time. The next option is file option, save. Don't show the backstage when opening or saving files. So what this option is going to do is, when you will click the file menu and then will click the save option, it will directly bring you the I have to do this with the new file, because it is not going to ask the name. I have already given the name sample. So I go to the file menu and then click save, and here you have the save as dialog box opening directly instead of showing you different places. So if you like this option, then you can turn on this by going to the file menu, option, save, and then you can make a check mark on save to computer by default. Or you can experiment with all these three options as required. For example, I remove both these options and only allow don't show the backstage when opening or saving files. Only this option will bring the same effect. Like I am going to save this file again, and it will bring the save as dialog box by default. So it is up to you which options you want to enable or disable. Show additional places for saving even if sign-in may be required will only work if you have subscribed to different cloud services to save your data. For example, when I go to file and save, I have to change the option. Now if I go to the file menu and click save, these are the additional save locations that may require you to sign in before you actually save your presentation cloud services. You might get more options here if you check that option from the save dialog box. Now the next thing is, that is the presentation on which you will work. That is like a canvas board, and if you ask me, then I will tell you to go to the design menu first and click the slide size, and here you have widescreen 16 by 19. PowerPoint displays the slide sizes in this way, whereas if you go to the Word and go to the layout menu, then here you will see the page in sizes like A4 in inches, especially inches or centimeters, whatever measurement option you have selected. And same in the Excel. If you go to the Excel and go to the page layout tab, here you will see that it is showing the page dimension in inches, whereas in PowerPoint it is showing the page size in resolution like 16 by 19 or standard resolution 4 by 3. If you go to the custom slide size and open the slide size 4 drop down menu, here you can see different slide sizes. If you want, you can change it here to increase or decrease the working area or canvas size. Moreover, you can change the orientation of the slide, portrait or landscape. Landscape is selected by default for all the new presentation that you open in Microsoft PowerPoint. So I will go with the default options. I am not going to change anything. I will use widescreen 16 by 19. Now before going any further, let's first type something. So let me tell you one more important thing here, that in PowerPoint you can only type your matter within the text boxes. I mean, you can't type outside the text box, and you can't click outside the text box and type something. It will always type within the text boxes. You must remember this. In Microsoft Word, you can click and type anywhere if you want, and same with the Excel. You can type anywhere you want, but that is not the case with PowerPoint. In PowerPoint, you have to type your text inside the text boxes, and when you open PowerPoint with a blank presentation, you always get these two text boxes, which is the default layout of a new presentation in PowerPoint. If you want to change this layout, you can go to the home menu and then click the layout drop down button, and here you have different kind of layouts. According to me, these layouts are not very special. Let's say if I choose to content, what PowerPoint is going to do is it is showing you 3 default text boxes for that layout. For instance, if I go with this one, these are just ready-made text boxes. Let's say if I choose blank, see, you don't have any text boxes here now, and then I can draw my own by going to the insert menu and clicking the text box and drawing my text boxes of my own, as many text boxes I want. So this is nothing special for me. So I usually go with the blank presentation because I draw everything by myself. So the next thing is, you can go with a ready-made layout, or you can draw your own text boxes, or you can also use WordArt to type your matter. Let's say I go to the insert menu, click the WordArt drop down button and choose style here and type my matter. Okay. So if you ask me, then I will say that in Microsoft Office 2013 and 2016 there is no difference between a text box and WordArt. Both behave the same, and I will tell you about this later on, but you must keep in mind that in Office 2016 there is no difference between text box and using a WordArt. These are just ready-made WordArts with the different kind of fill colors, shadow, glow and reflection options, and you can apply all these options, different kind of formatting options, to the text boxes as well. So when you will do that, there will be no difference between WordArt and text boxes, and I will show you an example later on in next videos. Anyway, now if you later, let me add one more line, text line here. I will use WordArt again. Okay. Now let's start with the real PowerPoint stuff. So first of all, if you think that this white presentation is not as nice as it should be, then you can go to the design menu, and here you will see a list of the almost same themes or same templates that you were looking in the file new section. Not all of them, but most of them you will see here. And if you simply click here, then Microsoft PowerPoint will automatically change the design of your presentation. Any theme you like, you can choose here, and they also have some variants like different colors and text positions. You can go with any of them. Okay, now if I go to the file menu and then click print, then you can easily take the printout of your presentation. But if you ask me, then I will say I have never taken a printout of my presentation in PowerPoint, because I never design those kind of presentations to take printout later on. I mostly use PowerPoint for the animation purposes, especially motion graphics. Even I don't create simple text animation presentations in PowerPoint, and that is what I am going to teach you. And we will start with the transitions. So after typing your matter and choosing a required design, if you click the slideshow button, then PowerPoint will show you the okay. Before I go with this one, let me tell you one thing, that I am using multiple monitors on my system. I have 3 monitors, and when I clicked on slideshow, it is showing me the slideshow, but you are not seeing that because the slideshow is showing on the different monitor. To change this option, you can go to the slideshow menu, and from the monitor drop down button you can choose on which monitor you want to see the slideshow of your presentation. So I will go with the primary monitor, which is this one, and now I should click the slideshow button, and here you have the exact preview of the presentation. So what I want here is, I want to make it nicer, I mean a little bit attractive, so it hold the audience. For this, first of all, I will try to apply a transition, and transitions are, according to me, transitions are a effect between two slides, and we only have one slide here. No problem, let's first apply a simple transition on this slide. Let's say I go with glitter. As you can see the preview here, and if now I click on the slideshow button, your presentation will come with that effect, and it will create a little bit effect on your audience, and you can choose any of these transitions as you like. Okay, now how to add a next slide? So you can apply different transitions on different slides. To add a new slide, go to the home menu and then click new slide, and here you have a list of available slides inside your presentation. You can add as many presentations as you want, and you can even increase or decrease the thumbnail view size as you like. And if you want to remove a presentation, just right click on the slide sorter view and click the delete slide button, and you can even delete more than one slide in a time by selecting more than one slide in a time, and you can do this by holding the shift key to select multiple slides in continuous manner, or you can hold control key to select different slides in non-continuous way. It is up to you. Now I just add a new slide, and here I add a few text. Now I go to the first slide again, and in the transition I have selected honeycomb for the slide 1, and for the slide 2 I go with vortex. Now if I click the slideshow button, then keep in mind that when you click the slideshow button, it always starts showing you the slideshow from the current slide. You must keep that in mind. When you click the slideshow button, it always show you the slideshow from the current slide. Like our current position is second on the second slide, then it will show you the slideshow from the second slide. And if you move to the first slide and click the slideshow button, then it will go continuously from the first slide to the second slide. Like this is our first slide, and I will click to advance to the next slide, and you can see the transition between the slides. That is what they are used for. I rarely use these transitions because I don't create those kind of stuff in my videos, so I rarely use transitions, but it is up to you. If you want to create a little effect on the audience, then you can apply different kind of transitions between your slides. Now the important part of the PowerPoint, which is animations. I really love them. However, there are a lot of drawbacks in PowerPoint, but still you can do a lot of stuff using PowerPoint. And I'm going to apply an animation to this text, and for this I go to the animation tab, and if you click on the animation tab, you will see that a lot of stuff is disabled here. Like a lot of features are not working. This is because you have not selected anything. Just select any object inside your presentation, and these options will get activated. And still these options are disabled because they will also get activated when you will use any another command, and I will tell you about this shortly. Now first select anything from your slide and go to the add animation drop down button, and here you have 5 kind of animations that you can apply on your objects, text, pictures or shapes. And these are entrance effect, emphasis effect, exit effect, motion path, and OLE action verbs. I rarely use this one, OLE action verbs. We will talk about these 4 animation types, and first of all we will talk about entrance effect. Before I go further, let me tell you that I never use or apply animation from here, from this drop down button. I never apply animation from here, and there is a reason behind that. I will tell you that later on. For the time, I will advise you to always use or apply an animation from the add animation drop down button. Okay, now first of all I will apply an entrance effect on the selected text, and to do this I first select the text and go to the add animation drop down button, and instead of applying an animation by clicking here, I will go to more entrance effect. And why I am doing this? Because it has a option of preview effect which is selected by default. That means if you select any animation from the list, then it will show you a preview before you actually apply the animation. So it is going to save your time, instead of like let's say I go with the split effect and hit the OK button, and I select the tutorials, go to the add animation, and let's say I apply bounce. As soon as I clicked on the bounce effect, it has applied that effect on the tutorials text. If you click animation pane, then it will show you a list of all the animation that you have applied on your objects. And as I have applied fly in to the Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 and bounce to the tutorials, then you can see the same effect in a sequence here. Like number 1 is this one and number 2 is this one. Okay, let me delete this animation. Select the animation and hit the delete button, and select the first text here, and I again apply the animation to clarify you a few more things. Okay, first of all, if you click any animation here, like just I click on fly in here, then PowerPoint is going to apply that animation immediately. Instead of that, if you go to the entrance effect dialog box and choose an animation here, then you can see a preview here first, which is a good thing. According to me, that is a very good thing to identify the animation before actually applying it. That is why I was saying you that you must always go to the more entrance effect or more emphasis effect list before you apply any animation. Okay, let me delete that one again. One more thing that you should keep in mind is that if you go to more entrance effect, just like I have selected tutorials first and going to apply wheel effect here, then and later if I select Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 and apply, let's say, float effect here, then the sequence of the animation will be exactly like that as you have selected the text. Like you have selected tutorials first and applied an animation, then you selected Microsoft PowerPoint 2016 and then applied an animation, then it is going to show you that in the same sequence. Like number 1 is tutorials and number 2 is Microsoft PowerPoint. However, if you wish to change the sequence, then you can easily do this by dragging and dropping the animation in the list. You can change any animation sequence anytime you like. And as you can see, that green star here, a mouse and the number of the animations, that is the sequence list. And what is that mouse mean? And the green star indicates that the entrance effect has been applied. If you look carefully, then you will see that all the entrance effect has a green star, which is, and here you also see that more entrance effect, and to almost all the effect it has a green star. When you applied too many animations, then it will help you to identify that either it is an entrance animation or an exit or an emphasis effect, because all these 3 kind of animations had 3 different kind of stars: green for entrance, yellow for emphasis, and red for the exit. And for motion path it is empty. Okay, now if I go to the slideshow, then what first you will see that the first thing you will see the transition, and later on you are going to see nothing by default because you have applied animation on the text, and by default PowerPoint will not show you the text with the animation until you click with your mouse. And here you have Microsoft PowerPoint 2016, and if I clicked once again, then you have the second text, and I click again, then it is going to advance to the next slide, and here you have the second text, and it doesn't have any animation. I have not applied animation to the introduction, that is why it is showing you as it is. Now let's move to the first presentation. And so please keep in mind that whenever you will apply an animation to any object inside your presentation, it will always have on click effect. I mean, your objects or text will not appear unless you click once. Now let's talk about on click with previous and after previous. As I told you that on click is selected by default when you apply an animation to your objects, but then you have two other options, with previous and after previous. So first of all, I will select this animation and apply with previous to it. Then I select second animation and apply after previous. As you can see that now you no longer seeing the number list 1, 2, because the number list will only appear if you have selected on click. Let me show you that again. Let me change them to on click, and here you have number 1, number 2. That is a sequence of the animations. Like first it will show you this animation, second it will show you this animation. But if you change it to with previous or after previous, then you will no longer see any numbers here. Like I am going with previous for both of the animations, then there you will see no numbers, and the mouse icon will get removed. So I select the second animation and apply after previous. So what does that means with previous and after previous? So if I click on the slideshow, now after the transition, it will not ask me to click. It is directly showing you the animation without clicking from the mouse. Let me delete this presentation. We no longer require this. Let's only concentrate on this one. Okay, with previous and after previous. Okay, if I choose with previous for the second animation, now what will happen is it will start showing you both the animation simultaneously. See, let me show you once again. After the transition, it will start showing you both animation at the same time. And if I choose the second animation and apply after previous to it and go to the slideshow, then after the transition you will first see the Microsoft PowerPoint 2016, and after it has finished it will show you the second animation. So it is up to you on which animation you want to apply with previous, on which animation you want to appear after the first one, and which animation you want to appear on the click, on the mouse click. It is all up to you. Okay, let me tell you one of my secret, and that is I never use on click or after previous, or I rarely use after previous. I never use on click. In none of my presentations you will see on click on any animation, because after creating the animations I do like to export them as videos, so I want to go everything automatically. So that is why I always prefer to use with previous and rarely use after previous. And why I don't use after previous, let me explain you that, and that will be the last thing for the day because the video is getting longer. Okay, so if with previous, let me show you the difference between with previous and after previous. As you can see that our first text has with previous and our second text has after previous, and here you have duration and delay options as well. So let's say I want to change the duration of this animation from 1 second to 3 seconds, then I can go here, and immediately you can notice that the size of the bar has also increased to the 3 seconds. This is because you can also adjust the animation duration right here. by holding the bar and increasing or decreasing the bar size. As I am decreasing or increasing the size, you can see that the second animation is going along with it. After it ends, the second animation positions begin here, right here. Let's say I reduce the animation time of the first one, and it automatically will stop here because it is after the first animation. Okay, now if I select the second animation and ask PowerPoint to play this animation with previous as well, then you can see the position of both the bars. If I go to the slideshow, then you can see that after the transition, both animation will play simultaneously. So I was telling you that why I never use after previous, or very rarely I use after previous, because if you go with after previous, then the second animation will only start after the first animation finish. Let's say if I want the second animation to start after 1 second clicking on the slideshow button, then you can't do this by after previous, because your first animation duration is 1.80 seconds, or let's say 2 seconds. Then if you are using after previous on animation, say any animation or on the next animation, then it will only start after 2 seconds. But if you want to start the second animation at your preferred time, then you can go with previous and can add a delay of your own. Like you can add a delay of 0.5 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Okay, so this way, let me add a 3 second delay here. So this way, after the transition, first animation will start and the second animation will start in the middle of the first one. So there are a lot of presentation that I have created, like just like this one, 3 giraffe. And if I show you the animation pane of this presentation, then you can see that I have never used after previous on any animation in the list. All the animations are playing with previous only, and what is the only difference is that each animation has its own delay. One last thing that I will tell you about after previous: if you go with after previous, then you will never be able to move that animation here. Like if you want to start this animation in the middle of the first one, then you can't do that. That is why I never use after previous. And that was just an introductory lesson about PowerPoint. I have a lot of things to tell you, and hopefully I am going to make the next video much better. A little bit hesitation about speaking in English, as I told you before, but anyway, I will try to overcome on that as well. And hopefully you will enjoy this tutorial, and do leave your valuable comments in the comment section below. And if you like, then you can hit the like button or can share this video with your friends, and I will come up with more good stuff soon. Bye for now, take care.